Well, happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
And it has been a busy week for me. What about you?
I'm trying to turn the ringer off. I can't even turn my phone on to turn the ringer off. It is one of those days.
Yeah, it is.
It is one of those weeks, one of those months.
Yeah, it never, surprises me how trying to live free consists of a bunch of getting your butt kicked, and it does, you guys. It's, if you ain't being pooped on, peed on, run into, scratched, bitten, hurt. Yeah.
Did I tell you I tripped in the laundry room and I actually fell and jammed my shoulder into the dryer? I was like laid there for a minute and went, "You're fine, get up." I was coming in hot and there was something in the way and I tripped over it.
Why were you running into the laundry room hot?
I was in a hurry. I was in hurry.
Why?
Because I had stuff to do. And I did not put the thing in the way. Yeah. And I did not expect it to be there. And so I tripped over it. And it hurt my knee. And my shoulder. And usually it's this shoulder that hurts. And now both shoulders hurt. I actually took Tylenol for breakfast today. Mm-hmm. And that is not a norm.
No, that's not a norm for you.
No.
Did it make you feel better?
It took some of the pain away. Mm-hmm. I was up and running. Mm-hmm. I had to go to the store today. Mm-hmm. And to get dog food.
Your monthly trip?
Yeah, well, kind of, because they didn't have your mom's cat food. Oh my gosh, I had to listen how the cat litter is no longer coming in a bucket. It's coming in a box, and she's unhappy. So I have a bucket. I'm going to take a bucket to her with the box of litter, and I will put the litter in the bucket, and I will put the bucket in her closet, so she will be happy. Problem solved.
I really wish that my life existed of where cat litter was my problems. I really do.
Yes, I agree.
Yep. And you've had family in town?
Yes, family in town. I got to spend some time with my sister from Arizona and her husband and their son, one of their children. He's an adult. They were in town for my mom's memorial. We went to it was a park, but it was it was called a garden, and we met there and was able to walk. Memorial Garden. We were able to just do a walk around and enjoy the scenery and look at the flowers. And my niece had made this cute little memorial, I guess, with some little sacks of seeds. So there was marigolds and some wildflowers and some...
I have a picture of that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. That was nice. And she took the time to hand write all of these.
How old is your sister, Connie?
62.
Okay. There's a big age gap.
My oldest sister is 62. And she is the one that's here visiting. She's actually staying with my other sister. My mom had 4 daughters, and the oldest and then the third one are staying together. They're staying here for a little bit. I don't know for how long, but we will get to see them on Sunday and spend a little bit of time with them.
Tomorrow?
Sunday.
Okay, what time Sunday? What are you doing?
I don't know yet. I haven't finalized the plan. So at first I was going to do it on Saturday, but then our son was supposed to come here tonight to go swimming with his family. And he said, "Hey, my mom has some kayaks." And he's like, "I'd like to bring them out to the farm and try them out." And I was like, "Help yourself." And so they said, "Oh, can we do it on Saturday?" And I said, "Oh, yes." So our boys will be here. Grandbaby will be here. Some kayaks will be here.
On Sunday.
Canoes. No, they're going to be here tomorrow, Saturday morning at 11 to utilize the pond.
But Sunday you made plans for us and you don't know what they are.
Sunday, we are going to spend time with my sisters and brother-in-law, nephew. Not sure what we're doing. My niece.
No, that sounds
family.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be,
let's
you
get
know
them
what?
Lowe's in
Life
before.
is too short. And so if you can spend a little bit of time with some loved ones, take that time and spend make some memories.
Especially if you love them.
Why does that matter? Just go make some memories. You will learn to love them.
I love that.
I think that if somebody shows up and keeps coming around, why wouldn't you love them? Right?
I love you. Because you stick around.
Thank goodness.
Right.
I had no place to go.
Hey, I want to welcome Skane's Girl in. Good to see you. First one in. Bessie, welcome into you, the greatest name on the internet.
Bubble up plum.
Said had a day off, worked on getting dead trees taken down in Florida. I don't know what the temperature's like in Florida right now, half bubble up plum, but it was 100 degrees here today, and it was awful. I had to work outside all day long. It was completely awful.
He said had the day off today, but he worked. So
yeah.
he had the day off of one job to work another job.
Right. Harry Kent Hepworth says Kent and Paula are in tonight's audience and busy. Our East Tennessee garden is producing bountiful peppers, poblano, Anaheim, cayenne, jalapeno, serrano, habanero, Tabasco, and hot banana.
What are you doing with all of them?
Yep. Pockety's Garden, welcome in, bud, says in the house from my off-grid shed to library. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm old and out of shape, but I'm here. Yeah. We
know that feeling.
I completely understand. Hey, Jane, welcome in. Started Dope. Good to see you. My buddy Adam and his beautiful bride Cindy are in the house. ACM Homestead.
Good evening.
Yep. Hey, Jesus, welcome in. Lindsay Freeze, good to see you. We'll be cool. How's it going, my friend? Probably see you in Tennessee, right? The king himself, Jeff, just Gypsy, Hefty, Lefty, Amazon, Mud Dauber, Slick. Phyllis is in the house. What's up, buddy? Betsy De La Rosa, good to see you. Barbara.
I think we should just call him Phyllis.
Just Phyllis for short.
Bill.
One of them will stick. Let's see here. Aljo and Barbara here from Southern California. Carrie Davis herself are in. Good to see you. Terminator, welcome in. Good to see you. I'd love to hear an update on what's going on your end. Send me an email. Let's see. Dana Green, welcome in. Stan Guthrie, hello, hello. Kent, what's going on, buddy? Says, sorry to be AOL last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, I was kidnapped to be taken out to a birthday dinner and ran longer than I expected. Yeah, 2 weeks longer. But man, what a blessing that is, right? Let's see here. Dave and Sonia from Michigan. Good to see you. Puck Elf, how are you? Gregory Kissel, what's up in Nebraska? Let's see here. Yeah, Puck Elf says, good day. Van life from Australia. You know, I've watched a lot of van life videos, and it seems to be very free. I like that.
If you don't like where you're at, just move.
Did I already say hello? Yep, there I did. Okay. Let's see here. Brian Jacob says, just watched my tractor become someone else's project. Sad day. Yeah, did you sell it? Is that why it's a sad day? Terminator says, I just got a bulletin. We are under a heat advisory for the next 4 or 5 days. We'll be in the high 90s and low 100s, hauling water now for the livestock and pulling part of my garden. My garden's low on water. Got it. Local prepper, what's up, buddy? How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, blah blah. Plum says the temp was 96, so it was hotter here today than it was in Florida.
Yeah.
Not by much.
I have several tomato plants that are really struggling.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been warm to say the least. I think it's going to start cooling off. I think today is the hottest day. And every day it starts going down just a little bit. And in about a week, we'll be back down into the 80s, which will be a lot better. A lot better for a lot of that, that kind of stuff. But that, so babe, what's first on your list?
I'm not sure what all you have pictures of.
You want to do pictures first?
We can. That way I know.
That way you know what's in there. But before we do, Rose, welcome. What's up? And Sharpshooter's in the house. I'm going to talk about you in a little bit. Uh-oh, yeah, I'd be worried if I was you.
Did you do anything fun?
Of course, Squatchy. What's up, buddy?
Did he get a new name?
No, he'll never get a new name. That's the perfect name. Those names don't come any better. Like that, there's no other way to top that. That's just the best name, absolutely, ever. All right, so let's get some pictures going today. So I wanted to show you guys this picture. He's like, why are you showing us a picture of mowed grass? So this is out by the community building, and that's down on the playground where the kids play.
It looks great.
Yep. And so B spent a bunch of time on mowing, and I wanted to point this picture out first because then I took a picture of her, and you guys, this picture does not do it justice. She was covered in dirt.
Your camera looks dirty.
No, that's not the camera. The camera took them other pictures too. Yeah, she was so dirty, like literally from head to toe. It
took me all day to mow that, and then I had to go back the next day to weed eat it. And it took me all day to weed eat too, because it was not just around the building, but it was all around like kids stuff, and then around the area for the porta potty. And then I got back to the back of the building, and I had to take extra time because I didn't know where all of your stuff was, like wires or electrical stuff. You don't want to weed eat and then be like, oh no, sorry about that, buddy. You know, there was a buttonweed back there that the stalk of it was the size of, I don't know, my pinky, maybe a little bigger. And it was between the generator and the gas line. And so I just took the weed eater and just touched it with the saw blade on it, and it like kicked it towards the gas line. I'm like, oh no. Okay. I was almost like, okay, stop. Turn it off. I turned it off. I'm like, you got to go get something manual over by the gas line, the generator. There's like one single black cord that comes down. I'm not sure what that is. I think it goes into the cistern, like one single black cord.
How do you suppose the pump in the cistern knows how to do it?
Well, there's also a black, bigger cord that goes into the cistern. So I'm not sure what is where. I just, at one point in time, I thought I was going to hit something. So I stopped and went and got the little clippers. Actually, you know that thing you got me that does the Milwaukee tree branch cutters? That really cuts the buttonweed, those stems that are real woody that I can't pull out, and they're too big for my little clippers. That little tree branch cutter.
Hey, welcome into Indiana, Mike. Long time no see. Manny from Permatopia Farms is in the house. Good to see you. Harry Can Hepworth says that they freeze dried the majority of the garden produce. For peppers, they're processed as whole, diced and powdered. The cayenne pepper is used as a cardiovascular supplement capsule.
Wow.
Pretty cool. And Brian says, yep, sold the tractor. Can't wait to get my free man hoodie out this fall. Yep. Says, I can send you some airline free mess maple syrup. We would love that. Yep. 100.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, long story.
Start to the week.
So you guys know from the last live that I bought a big roll of wire. We were going to trench the power from the community building into the house so that I could use that system as I disassembled my old solar system so that I could prepare for my new solar system. And so we think that it's all going to go really, really well. But, you know, like we started this whole conversation with, you know, you got to have a pretty, you know, thick skin, I think, to really live this way, because things just happen, and they happen all the time. And this was the start of my adventure, right about where that trencher is, right there.
And this was,
we decided that we would shut it off and have a sandwich or whatever it was. We'd have made it about 20 feet on a long run of 400 feet. We're about 20 feet in. First thing, yep, Saturday morning. And yeah. And so we get right about there, shut it off, go back to turn it on, and it smokes the starter. And so it will not start. And there it sits in the middle of my yard. So that was the end of that day. So we called the auto parts place, got another starter coming. It was going to show up late on Saturday, but I could pick it up on Sunday. So Sunday morning, we picked it up and continued our journey. Hey, real quick, Lazy Loper, welcome in, and the real life trad wife. What's up? So we get back to it. Pick up from about right there, which is about
this thing was cool.
Yeah.
This machine.
And so again, all we're doing is trenching a main power line in. But as you see,
through the woods
is where we go. And of course, the dog's sitting there watching. But I only had to take out one tree. I'm not a real big fan of taking out trees. So if I don't have to, I won't. But there was one of these cedars like this that was just, I couldn't get the machine through.
Yeah. And it doesn't really like do, circles around.
No, it don't turn very fast. Yeah. But the good news is we did get it trenched all the way in. We laid the wire down, and then I backfilled the wire on.
Well, the wire was like 460 pounds is what that spool said.
Yeah.
So you had many, many hands to, you had to like unroll it and then drag it into place?
Yeah. Yeah. So we unrolled it, rolling down a hill.
Did you have like 3 wires you had to put together?
No, they were all
together already.
Yeah. So we put it at the top of the hill and rolled it down the hill because that's a lot
smart.
easier. And then we all went and picked it up, and there was, a bunch of us there to do that. And you see, we had who was out there that day? Carl was out there, Scott was out there, and Mechanic Mike was out there that day. And trenching it was fine. We drug it all out, laid it all in, but then
Kansas Terminator.
Yeah. Oh, yep. That's right. Command hand was there.
Yeah.
That's right. Can't forget that.
And then this guy with his helpers.
Yep. That's Mechanic Mike. But the hard part wasn't that. That was all fine. We got that all laid down. But then I had to fish that big old line up into the community building.
Yeah. And you were going to go in this. I thought you were going to go in the west side.
Yeah.
And then it got dug out.
Yep.
What is that pile of rock? So there's like a mound of rock, a hump in the driveway.
Oh, I was just pushing the gravel out so that when I trenched across there, I didn't lose my gravel.
Okay. So it's okay to drive over.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this is a bumper. This is to stop. He doesn't want anybody beyond this.
No, I just pushed the gravel out.
No, that was smart. So then you did not get it into the west side.
No, I had to come because there was too many corners and it was too big a line. So I had to come in through the front, which means we got back on the trencher. But eventually, after basically an entire day's worth of work, we finally got that line up in there, got it laying in the utility room of the community building, and got it laying up right next to the powerhouse for the house. And that was kind of the end of day number 1. Yeah, Gregory wants to know, did I put the wire in a conduit? So I bought direct bury wire. So if I didn't buy direct bury wire, I would have put it in a conduit. But I put direct bury wire in. It's more expensive, but then you ain't buying the conduit. Let's see here. Rhonda, welcome in. Good to see you. So then all of a sudden, I find out that my new solar system was going to show up, and they would be here between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. Monday morning. What day did it show up? No, it wasn't Monday.
This was
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday morning. So I'm like, all right.
We thought it was going to come on Tuesday, but it was being delivered.
Right.
We got a message saying it was being delivered on Tuesday, and you were not going to be here. So he was like, "Good luck, buddy." I'm like, "No, don't leave me with this project." I called the neighbor. I'm like, "What are you doing today? By chance, are you going to be available all day long in case this thing shows up and I need help?" And he's like, "Just call me if you need me." But then it was being delivered to the warehouse in Topeka, which is where the next truck was going to pick it up and bring it to us. And they called you and said that they were going to be here. They even gave hours, like, we're going to be there between.
Yeah, except that it's 7
and 8.
So I went up there just about 15 minutes before 7 to open the gate and wait for them. And it was already sitting there out on the road.
Yeah.
So this is the end of my driveway. My driveway is really long. You can't see it from my house, so you'd never know that it was up there, But anyway, so I got the system moved down. And this here, if you guys see the very first picture closest to B and I, this is where I'm bringing the power in to the powerhouse where my old system is. And I did put conduit on it for a little ways as it was coming up out of the ground so that it was, a lot tougher.
Well, because it's above ground here too, though.
Right.
You can't have it just wire sticking up out of the ground.
Right. And then the picture on the right is it coming through the building and going up to a transfer switch. Hey, Nitos, welcome in. How are you?
How long do you have that conduit on there?
8 feet. It's just not slid up there in that picture. But I don't want to get it really super permanent in until I know everything's the exact length. And, you know.
How come you didn't go up underneath the building? How come you came in at the building instead of?
Because if I'd have gone up underneath, it'd have been in the middle of my floor. If you're going to come up underneath, you got to go up into the wall, which means I'm tearing the wall apart, drilling down through it. Right.
Oh, because the other ones were in the footers.
Right, in the footers.
Oh.
Right. That makes sense,
you have
right?
to know that ahead of time.
Yeah. So anyway, they go up to this. This was the transfer switch, and I was telling you guys about this last week a little bit. And so what this is going to allow B to do is to switch between the powerhouse, the power at the community building. Oops.
Wow.
Or the power oh my goodness, stop. Anyway, it allow her to switch between the community building power and the powerhouse power for the house. So like if we're using it, the house one will be the normal one. If we're using it, batteries are getting low, we're on day 7 without any sun, she'll be able to just go hit a switch and then pick up that lever. You guys can see it to the right of that. There's a kind of a green handle, what it looks like here, but so all the way up would be the powerhouse up by the house, and then all the way down to be the community building. And so we got it trenched in and got it hooked up to the breaker box or to the transfer switch here, and that was kind of the end of that day, which was pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see here. Hey, Helen, good evening. Yeah, Helen says a great point. So don't forget to cork and seal everything to keep bugs out forever. 100% agreed.
Yes. We found that the hard way too.
Yeah. Dana Randall, hello. Oh, I might have already said that. Maybe you got it twice. That's okay. You're worth 2 hellos. David Strom, welcome in. Says, tag makes it easy. Yeah. Dude, I'm going to tell you, the trenching part, getting it up in the building, that was not easy at all.
Yeah.
But
it did not look easy.
Yeah. So the first picture on closest to B and I, that's the actual battery that melted down. You can see the top of it. So I had to remove it. And if you look at the picture on the right, that's me dismantling the entire system. And you just got to pull it out piece by piece and wind up the wires and haul them out. I'm going to tell you something interesting. Well, I thought was interesting.
Yeah, those 2 batteries were stuck together. That's why they're sitting there like that.
Yeah.
He could not get them out.
I got them for it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What happened?
I just put a flat bar down there and it popped right off. It wasn't even on there very hard.
I thought something was going to leak out, like it was going to crack open and stuff was going to, molten lava was going to ooze out.
Yeah, let's see here. What's Gregory say here? When we put new wiring in our house, they put a frost expansion coupling at the ground level. Yeah, I've got it a little bit loose in there, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know that they put them in here, but maybe they do, and I just don't know it. To the right of me, in that picture, you guys, you see those 3 inverters hanging up on the wall. So one's a breaker box, and then there's 3 inverters. One thing I learned in this is it was a whole lot easier lifting them up and putting them on the wall 5 years ago.
What do you mean?
It was a lot heavier this time. I don't remember them being that heavy. I had to pick those, so they're hanging on basically a cleat.
Yeah.
And you pick them up off the wall. But man, those things are heavy. Like it was all I had to keep a hold of them.
How much do you think they weigh?
Oh, I don't know, man. 100 plus. You know, once you get them down kind of in your arms, it's not.
Are they like the batteries, the grid down batteries? You said those are heavy.
Those are 284 pounds piece.
Oh, okay.
Those are way
heavier. Those are way heavier.
Yeah, but you do those differently, you know.
Yeah, you used a dolly.
Yeah. So man,
and they also weren't hanging way up tall.
Yeah,
either.
it just seemed like it was a lot harder this time around. But
you guys are older.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually some comments on that too. Let's see here. Lindsay says, I have a healthy fear of the stuff in batteries too. My husband makes fun of me. That's pretty good. I'm glad he makes fun of you because it, keeps you young, but I actually understand it. B has been paranoid for how long? Since the battery melted down, she's been in a state of anxiety. Yep. Dana Green says, you're older. Gypsy says, remember, you're 5 years older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hippocrates says, I used an engine hoist to get my 10K inverters on the wall. Yeah, they were heavy. See what a few years will do to you. Yeah. Bill and Fallon, welcome in. Yeah, I don't know if it's getting older, probably, but man, they just seemed like they were a whole lot heavier this time around. I mean, I got them off there, but man, Like I said, carrying them isn't so bad, but picking them up and getting them off that cleat, it was a lot, to just kind of try to keep holding.
All the 3 were?
Yeah, these here.
Yeah.
Those right there were the heavy ones. The batteries were heavy. All the stuff was heavy, but those 3 inverters were, man, they were absolutely something else.
Just piece by piece.
Piece by piece. And you
taking
just
it down.
Yeah. So this particular picture, we're missing the charge controllers and the EMP shields, and about half the batteries are gone, but this is pretty early in the process. Ultimately, this entire room was cleaned out. Yeah. Sharpshooter says all of it is heavy. Yeah. Don't you have some batteries to move or something? Yeah, just wait. Just wait. There's 8. I'm a poet. Didn't even know it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Look at all. See, this is, people don't understand what I mean when I was talking about the messiness, I guess, of the wires and such. I mean, I know that there has to be wires that go to those batteries, and
we hide them in boxes, babe. So you don't see them.
But you see them. I mean, there's black wires on the, wall there. The grid down is just not like that. And it's just so much
cleaner.
It is so much different when we first started talking about
my wife's an ostrich.
Why?
Because you can put your head in the hole. It doesn't change the fact there's still wires in there.
No, I'm just saying that when we first started talking about the grid down, when we first hooked up with grid down and we started right there. But well, anyway, so and I saw the system and I'm like, wow, that's it. That's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm used to what this looks like. I'm used to wires here and here and here. And it was clean, but you could still see wires here and there. And I know that all of those wires were put in by you. So it was like if you look at those battery cords, not all of them are the same thickness, and it's just different as we go along. So then you take these parts and you put them over on this shelf and you redo all of this stuff, and then you have all of these extra parts. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of solar parts, but now with the grid down system, you saw it in the community building. It's just like a box, beautiful, put together, closed.
Well, I think the other thing, guys,
not in any danger.
Babe, you got to remember, when we built this system, I knew nothing about solar.
Right. Well, and we started with 2 batteries.
And I watched a lot of videos and all this, and I've learned a lot since then. But this has been just an absolute incredible journey.
It has been a journey.
Rosie says it's like a deadlift of 240 pounds. You good?
You good?
Sharpshooter says, I have to recover after carrying those inverters downstairs.
You carried them down some stairs?
Yeah, I'm hoping you had help, because that would have been fun.
Why didn't you drive around the back? Just carry them right in.
Gregory says, this is a super important question. Are the batteries they make today safer than the ones in the past? Let me show you guys something. Let's get here. I'm going to remove this, get back to a previous. Oh, that was the one before. Right there. Right there. Okay. Okay. So, Gregory, see that battery? See how it's got that indention in the top? So, a traditional lithium battery, that would have caught fire. And because it produces its own oxygen, you would not have been able to put it out until it just burned out. And so, at a time, they were super, super dangerous. But these are all smart batteries. Even this battery here actually has its own breaker in it, and this is actually a step down to the grid down batteries we just put in, which are the next level of smart. It actually monitors it, and if it senses they don't like something, it will just shut it down. And so they've gotten a lot safer. Now, Sharpshooter says, I am done recovering from carrying those inverters downstairs.
I'm not done.
Carrie Davis says, I vote for B to write the instruction manual. I agree. I agree. Carrie, you're
Flip
on.
This
you're on
run. Count to 6.
Real life Trevor Life says, nope, all by self, because he was afraid the beast would drop him. Oh my goodness, you poor guy. Carrying those things downstairs, that was no fun. Yeah, no fun. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
No, I'm not sorry a bit. That's you're earning that.
Now he is a
You'll
hernia.
value it so much more, Hippocrates says depends on the chemistry. There are multiple lithium-ion batteries. Titanate, phosphate, which is what the simplified ones that melted are. The LiFePO4 phosphate don't thermal runaway. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what the simplifies were too. That's also what's in the grid down. Grid down actually has the LiFePO4 batteries in them. Yeah. All right. But it's kind of sad to see it go, I have to tell you.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, when we got in here, I put power way up on my list, priority list.
Absolutely.
We had power right away,
it was a very important.
Yeah, and it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of learning, and it was a lot of struggling, and it was a lot of because I didn't know what I was doing, and not that I know today what necessarily what I'm doing, but I know better today than I did.
Well, and I remember when we were talking about our first system, and you were like, "What do you think about this? And what do you think about that?" And they're in their own house because of things that I have told you.
Mhm.
And so you made the decision to get this system by the things that I said were either important to me or not important to me. And so
Yeah, and guys, there's nothing wrong with the system. Those Schneider parts, like the inverters, the charge controllers, they're top of the line. Schneider is a top of the line company. You don't get any better than that.
When we called them, they didn't have that. I don't know about in the past, but when we called them this time, guy had a very thick accent, but he walked us through how to hook it up to the internet, the Snyder guy, and he walked us through how to log in and to see these items that the Snyder people or the simplified people wanted different, like they wanted proof of what was going on with the batteries. They wanted to know what they were doing now. They also wanted any information, alerts and events that had happened in the past. And so I felt like the Snyder guy on the tech guy was super helpful. And we had a warranty claim, not on these, but the inverter that we had before this, and they sent one right out. We ended up having to send the one that was broken back. They sent a box, and we took the good one out, and then we put the bad one in and sent it back right on the same truck, and didn't charge us for it. So
yeah, this system would have lasted me a long time. The reason I decided to go the way that we did was because either I was going to invest money back into this system, or I was going to invest money into a grid down system, which is like what we have in the community building. If I did a grid down system, then I'm going to link them all together. It's one part fails. There was just a bunch of stuff there that I really, just the longer I thought about it, I thought, it'd be nice. Plus, because I'm one of the owners of grid down, you want to represent too, But there was nothing wrong with the system other than I didn't want to put any more money into it because we had said that we were going to go the other way eventually. So
yeah.
Right. Just didn't make any sense.
Because we had said that was the goal, was to try to hook them together eventually.
Yeah. The problem was that it wasn't the goal right now. I actually ended up spending the money that I was going to put the septic system into the community building. I spent on a solar system.
And some. We didn't have all the money for the septic system. So
yeah, we did. Yeah, the septic isn't as much as all this, but I'm saying whatever money I had for the septic, we spent it. Gregory says, will the new system help with the winter day power management? 100%. So yeah, so I went from 30 kilowatt hours basically of storage, and I'm going to 108 kilowatt hours of storage. So what's that? 400% more battery storage when you combine the two systems. So yeah, it's going to help out a lot. It used to be where we would get to day 5, day 6 without sun, and we're really beginning to worry a little bit, right? We're really, managing it, but now it won't be anywhere near as that. It's going to have to get to day 20, for us to really spend a lot of time worrying about it. So we will have to manage it less, which is fantastic. You happy about that?
Yes.
Have to watch it less. We'll be able to run the air more, and those kind of things. So it's definitely level up for us.
Because we're using more now.
You're right.
So with the grid downs, because he hooked the electricity from the community building,
Mhm.
formerly known as community building, now known as warehouse.
The building formerly known as.
Yes. So the grid down was hooked up there. And when we trenched the power up to our powerhouse, he logged into the online, what is that, an app, I guess. Grid Down has or Lion Energy has an app that you can see what your system is doing at all the time. So you can go to the app and log in and see what the sun is producing, what you're using, and then what's coming and going from the battery. So I go to my phone now and look on that all the time and see what.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about that, it's all internet dependent. Now you can shut the window off. They do have Bluetooth in them. You can also hardwire them, which I'll hardwire a screen into my house because it's already, Cat 6 cables ran. So we'll go ahead and run one in anyway, but because then you won't be as, as dependent.
Yeah.
But okay, we already showed that picture. That's the wire that came out of the system.
Right.
That's what was hidden behind all those boxes.
Right. And that is massive.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's wires with the grid down one as well. Yeah. I understand that. I don't think that it's just there. It's just so clean. It's all so nice and clean, and it's supposed to be like that. There's no guessing.
There's still wires.
Right. But these wires did not come with the system. You have to go find the wires. Mm-hmm. You have to go find what you want. Yes. Do you want to whatever? I heard you guys talking. Do you have a 2 or no? I need a 1. I'm like, he's like, I'll figure it out. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. So the Snyder system don't come with the wires. The grid down comes with all the wires you need.
Right. Which tells you what wires you need because that comes with it.
Yeah.
There's no guessing. He's like, oh, what kind of thickness do you think this one is? What is that, a 1 or is that a 2? I'm like,
that's a pencil.
Good grief. They're like measuring their wires for
Dana says spare parts. Well, not really, because the system's a super good system. I sold the system to another community member that'll help them out. And so all the wires you can see as I bundle it up, as it comes out and to what section it goes to make it a little bit easier to put it back in. But this all went into a box and off to, as you guys seen earlier in the live, off to Sharpshooter's house, where they're going to be able to begin that journey of becoming energy independent, which is absolutely fabulous. Instigator says that pile of wires making crackheads drool. Gregor says, do you have to add more panels? No, I don't have to. I could. But I've got the solar array at the house has got 28 panels. The solar array at the community building has 16. So it's good.
That's plenty, right?
Making all the wires yourself, more tools. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. And Sharpshooter says, we are so excited. Yep. Yeah. There's a whole truckload of parts that are just sitting all there, all nice and neat for you, Sharpshooter. It's just,
talk about leveling up.
Yeah. 100% leveling up. That's what it is. And being energy independent is such a big deal. I say this all the time on these lives. I think energy is the number one issue. I would put it in front of water. I would put it in front of shelter. I'd put it in front of just about everything today, because with it, everything's possible. And without it, you're really going to struggle. It's already hard enough to do it like it is. Guys, I'm telling you, me and B cannot produce all our own food without some influence from the community or other things. Like there's a lot of things that we do and barter and trade and back and forth. Without those kinds of things, I just don't see how you ever get there. And for those of you guys who know B and I well enough, we work every day. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
We get up, we go do it. And it's just absolutely going to take all of that, Hey, conserve friends, welcome in. Yeah, Gypsy says our first system was an iron Edison, but we love our grid down system. That's from Lou. Yeah, well, you guys, I think if I remember right, you said then back, I'll give you guys a little bit of history. So Gypsy and the beautiful Louise Wesley,
yes,
have been off grid for 30 years. And so they're kind of They had not kind
They're
of.
pros.
Yeah, they have more experience at living this life than anybody else in the community. And so we look to them a lot for that. And so anyway, I think they were saying
For
that's
a
more,
lot.
that's their grid down's more power than they've ever had.
Oh, really?
Because they've never had that much available power. And, you know, like I know that the king himself is getting ready to shiplap, basically, the inside of their house. And he gets to work inside in the air conditioning. Right? I mean, it's 100 degrees outside and you get to work inside in the air conditioning. Tell me how much more productive you are there versus working in 110-degree weather trying to stay busy and get it done.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not even close. And I think that's even more the older you get, the more that's true, you know. Instigator said, that's why I'm still working on building batteries. Just for me, if I get them done, I'll have almost 100. Yeah, 100's a bunch.
Woo!
Because we ran our entire property, my house, the shop, her shop, on, you know, the 30 kilowatt hours worth of batteries. No, it's on 37 point something.
37?
Whatever. But we've had that the whole time. And now we're just going to 108. That's just like a lot.
108 is both, though.
Both of them, right? But you have both. You got to switch between them. I didn't want to connect them into one system because I wanted the safety of them being two separate ones.
Yeah.
You have any issue with any of them, you turn a handle, and the other one will pick up and take care of it.
Redundancy.
Yeah,
I like that.
Which was a big lesson. You know, when our battery melted down, in the middle of the night, Beeb was in full blown panic. Shut it down. We can't use any power. And since then, even though I removed the battery, I took the battery out of the equation.
I can still smell it.
Yeah. I know, but you were like, we can't run anything. We can't, you know, it just turns into one of those things. But you feeling better now?
Not yet.
Not yet? You still a little nervous?
Well, I mean, today I was running. Ooh, good hands. I was running the I was running the air conditioner, one head. And Joe said, I would like you to test the system. I'd like to see if we could get it to drain and fill back up. And then I went and I turned on a couple things and I came back out and Joe wasn't there. And Mike says, yeah, that looks fine. And I was like, well, he wants me to drain the battery, or he wants me, what did he say? I said, he wants me to drain the battery, but not go over what we're bringing in, right? And he goes, you're going to have to go over what you're bringing in to drain the battery. And I was like, oh, got it. I'm just learning this. That makes sense. So yes, I turned on I said, okay, I'll turn on a couple fans. And then I went and started the load of laundry. And then the TV turned on, like the power flickered. So the TV turned on, the washing machine got a power failure code on it. And I ran out to the powerhouse and I'm like, did you guys see anything? Did you guys feel anything? Anything going on? And they're like, no, everything okay. And I'm like, where's Joe? And they're like, he's not here right now. And Scott goes, can we help you with something? And I was like, well, so this is what just happened. And he was like, Mike goes, well, why don't you turn that one off and try to narrow it down, what the problem is. And now I was like, oh no, do I turn it on? Should I turn it off? Should I turn this on? I'll turn that one off. And then you're like, just turn it all on. And Scott goes, just turn it all on. I don't want to break anything. I don't want to burn anything. I don't want to catch on fire.
You guys see what I deal with?
What should I do? Should I turn it off? Should I turn it on?
Yeah. Hey, Mary Michelle, welcome in. Gregory said, we ran the grid down calculator and we would need no less than a 50. Yeah, so I have two 54s, which is how I get to 108. The system in the community building is a 54 and the one in my house is a 54.
And we were thinking that the 54 is all we would need, right?
Yes, 54 is plenty.
I mean, the 37 we dealt with a lot.
Well, not a lot. You'd have a couple times a year. We'd have to be on red days.
No, we dealt with it a lot. I guess I didn't.
You got a mouse? When did we deal with shit?
Well, we both lived here.
Yeah, but what did you deal with it?
We both had red days. I had to manage what was being used.
My goodness.
What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness.
When you were not there were days when you were not here and I had to flip breakers and I had to figure out stuff. I had to do a lot of stuff without you here.
Okay.
Trying to make things work and going and checking and making sure it's not burning down. Okay, it's not burning down.
Okay, so just so you know, checking the screen to see how much power you have, or opening the
That's
door.
managing
Hold
it.
on. Opening the door to look in isn't dealing with the system.
It's basically
like
it is.
no.
I'm keeping an eye on it for you, buddy.
Yeah, Pete for the win says vacation is rough, guys.
It is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Hey, Gregory, to your point here real quick too, says if you go on to the grid down system and you type in book club, it'll give you a whole bunch of money off, just so you know.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So next, start the install. So the very first thing you do in a grid down system is you put in the batteries.
You take them out of the box.
Yep. Well, you take them out of the box and then you put them in. Now these are 284 pounds a piece. And so this system has 4 of them.
And those are the batteries.
Those are the batteries.
And then there's a box on top of the battery.
Yep. And that box on top is what allows you to run the wires through it.
Yeah.
So the wires
That
that
makes
you
it
don't want to
pretty.
see are, in there. But
Is this a wire back behind that?
okay, in that gap right there?
Yeah.
That's a ground that's coming out of the wall because the ground's right on the other side, which later on in the process we tie in. But that's just a ground wire sitting there. But anyway, so 4 batteries go in first, and it's hard. That's a lot of work. Like I said, they're over 280 pounds a piece.
And they're not just sitting there on the ground.
No, there's a hanger that's bolted, that's lag bolted to the wall that they sit on. But you got to be able to pick up that battery and set it in that cleat.
Yeah. And
it only goes one place.
They're like an inch off the ground.
Yeah, about an inch and a half. You don't really see it on the cover plate because the cover plate hangs down a little bit, but the actual bottom of it's about an inch and a half. I'd have liked to have gone up higher, like maybe 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
But because of my lower ceiling in the powerhouse, that just for me just wasn't an option. So I got the best, kind of the best out of it.
What about condensation? I know we've never had issues with that floor condensating, but do those produce heat? Would those make that condensate? Remember,
you had a solar system in this room before.
I know, but nothing was touching the ground. Nothing was ever that close to the ground. Nothing was ever that close.
It's still not touching the ground.
It's an inch off. Would that produce heat enough to make water condensate there?
No, baby. I think there's never been condensation here.
There has never been condensation on the floor, but
do you, just out of curiosity, maybe it's a ladies thing. Do you ladies just think about all of the possible things you can worry about, even though almost 90% of it don't matter? I mean, is there any other girls out there that go through this process?
Why does it matter?
Man.
I'm like,
and guys, I'm not being disrespectful at all. I love my wife. She's an amazing person, my very best friend, but it absolutely seems counterproductive to worry about condensation in a room you've never had it in, that already had a solar system
are you
in,
kidding me?
and you're putting a solar system in. To spend any of your time worrying about condensation is weird.
Have we had water issues in places that we've never had water issues in the past?
Squatchy says, tag, the ratio is 300 to 1. Yep. And the real life trad wife says, yes, that's our job. Oh my goodness. Like, I just don't understand. Like, what a waste of energy. Like what an absolute. Here's the thing. Can you do anything about it? Yes or no?
Today we could. Tomorrow we can't.
What could you do about it today?
I don't know. Can't we bring them?
What could you do about it today? You, not me.
I can nag you to do something about it today.
Okay, but you can't actually do anything about it.
Except use my voice.
But you can't actually do anything about
Except use my voice.
Okay. So why do you worry about stuff you can't do anything to worry about?
So I can help you in the long run.
Lindsay Freeze says, yes, my brain runs all worst case scenarios 24/7. Oh my goodness. Isn't that exhausting? Seriously, no disrespect intended.
She said 24/7.
Yeah, man, isn't that exhausting?
It could be.
Lindsay, absolutely no disrespect, but I'm glad my brain isn't wired like that, man. I'd be like so tired. Like it would wear me out.
Yeah.
It would just physically wear me out. Dana says that's what women deserve. And of course, the Terminator in Terminator fashion says, I don't have time to worry. I'm too busy. Yeah. Dana says that's what women do. Yeah.
Instead of
and Tambra, hey Tambra, by the way, I don't think I welcomed you in. Welcome in. Said, just the way it is.
Just the way it is.
Pete says, I'm exhausted.
Just listening to it.
Yeah. Lindsay says, it is extremely exhausting. Man, I can't even imagine, you know? Yeah. And Bill and Fallon says, that's why God blessed us with women. Yeah. You know, I could not imagine my life without my wife. She's my hero, my buddy, my confidant. She's the first one to push me into it and the first one to pull me out of it. And I couldn't have it any other way. And we are blessed as men to have that counter side. But man, when it comes to stuff like that, I just don't get it. Like, my dad once told me that they're born weird and it only gets worse. Maybe he was right.
I think, yeah. That's okay.
So next come the inverters. So we stack. Inverters work much like the batteries do. There's basically a rack that you screw to the wall. And I'll release a video a little more in depth as we did this. But so you basically just take these hangers and you hang them on the wall, and there's cleats on the back of them, and it just snaps in to where, you know, kind of to where it goes. And these are the newer upgraded grid down systems. They just went through a change. There's little things just like these handles. There's handles up on the inverters to help pick them up, and some little things functionally they're exactly the same. But so anyways, that's, you know,
Looks nice.
Yeah. And so what'll happen next, babe, is we need to run wires all the way through all those bottom cabinets, all connecting to each other. You have to drill holes in the side of those black cabinets so that I put, you know, 2-inch PVC in or 2-inch steel in or whatever it is between them so that you can run wires back and forth. And then all of it ends up inside where you can't, you know, kind of can't see any of it.
And then like wasps can't go in there and make nests.
Let me see here. And sometimes we're cussing while we're in it. What are we in, Bill and Fallon?
That's why God blessed us with women.
Yep. And sometimes we're cussing while we're in. And Nito says, yep, love my hubby. Oh, that's right. Okay. You know what? Why that did not ring to me? Got it. I'm slow tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you look across the front of the grid down, you see those big, I'm looking at the very first inverter there. You see those big white boxes right there? So those are all your solar panels in. So basically you bring the wires from the solar panels and you just stick them up in there, up in those little tabs. And
like
the charge controllers are already built in. All of that stuff's good to go. And then as you go on, there's a plug in there for generators, and there's a plug in there for the main power leaving and also coming in if you're using the grid. But for me, I don't use the grid. So I just got the you know, the load side going to the house that you got to plug in. On the left-hand side, you'll see kind of up the top, there's 4 big silver bolts up there. Those are where the batteries, big battery cables connect in. And if you look in those middle boxes, you'll see those little white tabs that are kind of at the bottom of that open box. That's where the battery cable actually snaps into the battery. What I really like about the system is that the cables have different ends on them. So they can only go one way. Like you can't really.
Positive has to go to positive.
It's only going to snap in one way. And
so do you have, these are all for the solar panels. You have the same thing over there. So you have to hook the solar panels into both inverters.
So no, so what I'll do is I'll bring half of them into this inverter and half of them into that inverter. So like your solar racks out there.
And that's how they,
they'll
like talk to each other.
Yeah, they're all synced together. Yeah.
Each uses both arrays, both sets of arrays.
Yeah. Yep. And so you'll bring them in and then eventually get them all turned on. I think tomorrow, hopefully we'll get the commissioning process finished because they're pre-commissioned. So the good news is when you buy one, they get a hold of you and they say, okay, what is it you want? Like, are you going to have a generator? Or are you going to, we're going to connect to the grid, whatever. And then they take them up, pre-commission them, pack them up and ship them to you. So, but you still got to kind of bring them up and test everything, make sure everything's talking the way it's supposed to and all that. And we've been kind of working on that recently. But also another new change that I really, really like is this now goes on the inside of your door. So let me go back a picture. So you see the open part of the inverter with the wires hanging out, the cover that goes on there now comes with this picture.
Oh, a diagram.
Yeah. It just tells you a lot, where to hook things up and how to hook things up.
That's
right.
Smart.
Yeah. And it comes on the covers now, which I think, we're always trying to find ways to make it easier.
Yeah.
because I think one of the ways we can make energy independence more accessible to everybody is try to get away from the installation process, right? The more we can get away from that, I think the more people that this will be able to, you'll be able to reach, and be good for me for business, but also be good for helping people get energy independent.
You're going to put the EMP shields on this.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. I'm actually going to put some extra ones on too, as I get a little.
And there's
little
plenty
older.
of room in there for them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They're not going to be on the outside hanging on the walls.
They'll
like
be outside hanging on the walls.
Oh, they
They'll
will.
be in a box or something, but yep. And when in doubt, call your buddies. Now I thought this was a great picture. So these are 3 of my buddies. That's Indiana Mike with his back to us. That's Moo Moo Buckaroo. And there's Joe on the phone. Anybody find it interesting that there's 1 guy working and 2 guys chilling like the state workers?
Just at that time. I thought it was interesting that everybody showed up in green shirts.
Well,
It was like
they weren't all the same shirt though.
no,
Just all green shirts.
they were just all green.
They want to be camo. They want to be camo. Right?
Camo.
Yeah. So again, you guys can see
So
how
you could have gone up a little bit on those.
no, because not really.
No,
Maybe,
'cause
maybe
you
a
have to
little bit
lift
because
it
you got to be
to
able to lift it
snap
up
it.
onto the cleat.
Yeah.
So maybe I could have got another inch out of it,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to tear that whole thing down for
For an inch.
an inch. Yeah.
It's a big inch.
1 inch ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it.
Big inch.
Is it a big inch? Yeah. Real life trad wife says, oops. Sounds about right. I just thought it was really interesting that we were turning into state workers. You guys, you see the cover right there, babe?
Yeah.
That's the panel sitting up. And you guys can see by what we're working on, all the wires are starting to get moved back and forth through the system. But it's very, very exciting that it's getting closer and closer. And again, hopefully tomorrow we'll have that power turn on. Now, for right now, we're running on a community building. So that whole system's in.
Yes.
But hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to run on that system. And then
Because you still have to tweak some stuff with the new system in order for you to switch the house onto it.
yes, there's still more to do. Now, all of the wires ran, just not all the connections were made.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The wire is all where it's got to go, but you got to strip it. And you actually, like I was showing you back on the grid down, and go back here, babe. I'm showing you back on the grid down, like up into these things, right? Every one of those, like those white things, all those are all connection points. So the wires have got to get stripped and put into all of them. Right. And so we have a lot of them done, but we just don't have all of them done. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're just kind of hanging out there.
Indiana says someone has to keep an eye on Tag.
Yeah.
He looks like he's keeping an eye on Joe to me, though. Who do you think he's looking at?
Those are 2 different pictures.
Oh, yeah, that's not just a doorway, is it? Kind of is where the doorway
It is the doorway, but yeah, it does look.
Yeah, that's true.
You're probably over here.
Oh, and I did to his point, I did such a dumb thing today. So the solar wires coming in from the panels, when I disconnected the Snyder system, I taped them together, the pairs that go together.
Oh.
The positive and the negatives, right? So I had them all put together great, had it all taped up great. And then we went to basically a breaker box when they were coming in. So I had to cut about half the wire length off. So clip. Now I don't know what the pairs are there anymore because I cut them all. And so we had to go and turn the switches on for the panels and then, put a multimeter on it, figure it out. So we spent a good hour and a half probably just getting the pairs back together. That was exciting.
I'm glad it was you that did it.
It was Joe's fault.
How's that?
I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, real life trad wife says, and this, man, I cannot stress this enough, you guys, that it's a full-time job for a whole community of people.
To keep
everybody running.
I think she's talking about to keep an eye on you.
No, she's talking about living this life. I will not accept that she's talking about me.
I will not accept that. Because Indiana says someone has to keep an eye on Tag. It's a full-time job for the whole community.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It takes a community.
It does take a community. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. You know how cool it is to, I'm on day 3. We just concluded day 3 of the solar swap. So you got to remember, I'm trenching a new line in, bringing a new power system in, hooking the house up to it. deleting an old system, getting it all cleaned out, bringing in a brand new system, and
Yes.
getting the two systems wired in through a transfer switch. And so then you got to trench 400 feet. You got to figure out how to get into the community building. So anyway, we just finished day 3. On day 3, I have had out there. So day 1, I had Moo Moo, Goat Whisperer, and Might All Mike. Yeah, you have to ask him how he got that name. Day 2, I had the Goat Whisperer, Sharpshooter, and Indiana Trench. Day 3, I had Moo Moo, Indiana Trench, and Joe. And then tomorrow will be day 4, and hopefully we'll have it all finished up tomorrow. But it's super neat that you can call in your friends.
No kidding,
Because
man.
they come help me, because I could absolutely do this. However, it'd be a month.
Right.
It'd take me a month to get it in,
Right. No, I have all the confidence in the world that you would be able to do it yourself.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for helping.
Bird's Eye View, welcome in, says work smarter, not harder. Yep. Reading live wires is better than coffee. Yeah, he was a little, what would I call it? He wasn't super motivated to turn all the power on and just walk around and start testing wires. Would you have been motivated to do that?
No.
Just start poking on stuff and see what lights up?
No. Is that what he was
Yeah,
doing?
that's what he did. Yeah, pretty much. Excited?
I'm glad that he was there. He probably was the one that figured out how to test him, huh?
Well, he knew right away what to do. It just sucks that I cut him off because I already had them taped together. I was already prepared.
I thought you were going to say that you taped them together and there was like some kind of fire hazard. Because you
Oh
said
my God.
I taped them all together.
Quit worrying
And I'm
about
like,
it.
No. Positive and negative together?
See how she just goes right to fire. Real Life Tradwife says, see what I mean? We got to keep an eye on him. Man, it was such a dumb move. I wasn't even thinking. I'm just clip.
Well, they all have to be cut.
Yes, but what I should have done is taken the pairs off, cut them, and retaped them back together as pairs.
Yeah.
So I knew this one went with this one, this one went with this one, because you had 10 wires. I cut 10 wires, 5 pairs. And so knowing, you got to know which one goes to which one's positive, which one's negative, and to which.
And so what was he testing? I mean, obviously you were at the solar panel, but where was he?
He was, so when I would turn the breaker on out of the panels, he was testing the individual wire for when it had power. You're testing. Okay, that goes to that one.
That one. So he was in there marking which one you were. Good grief.
Yeah, Sharpshooter says just lick your fingers and start
grabbing wires.
Yeah.
That one. Nope, not that one.
Yeah, the problem is DC hurts, man. Maybe it's, I don't know. By the way, Nurse Wang, welcome in. Indiana Mike says, we kept the electric pixies at bay. None of them escaped. Yep, not today. Tomorrow's a new day, though. Tomorrow is a brand new day. All right.
Hopefully Mike will be here.
You want to...
Hopefully somebody will be here with you.
Yeah. So
that you're not just off doing it on your own.
I don't know if this is true for everybody. Did not seem like a vote of confidence. I'm sure you guys agree.
I think that it's a vote of confidence. I know, like I said, I know that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the wires, you would have figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, somebody was in there testing it while you were doing what you had to do, so that it wasn't like go and check and go and check.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we would have figured it out. You'd have had to come help me. I had you hold a wire where I turned the breaker on.
Yeah. I remember those days. Can you look and see if there's anything coming out of this tube? Yeah, something came out.
They say diesel fuel is good for the skin.
Mm-hmm. For your eyeball, too.
Yeah. That actually happened.
Yeah.
But I didn't blow in the pipe, as you guys know. My dad blew in the pipe after asking her to look down the thing, and it was
not fun.
Good experience. So anything else you want to talk about the solar? Anything you've learned along the way? Besides just being totally freaking worried about it all the time?
I'm trying to learn about it. I got the Simplify guy now, Briggs and Stratton. He gave me a talking to about how I didn't know my system. And I was like, yeah, buddy. Are you going to help us or what? And obviously he didn't help us, but
Yeah, not a big fan of how Simplified dealt with all that. Schneider did good. I'm not a big fan of it, but we learn, kind of as we go.
We've learned,
and you get smarter as you go. And I'm really glad that I'm not the engineer behind Grid Down.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just a business guy.
Yeah.
Because I've learned a whole lot more, but there's a whole lot more to learn. And I'm again very, very thankful to Scott and Carl and Mike and Sharpshooter and Indiana and Joe for all coming out and helping me get through it and taking a month-long process and turning it into a 4-day process.
Yeah.
And we'll be back up and running. And it's a whole lot cheaper to go off grid if you're not paying for labor. Labor's about the same cost as the system is. So if you spend $50,000 on a system, you're going to have about $50,000 in install if you pay somebody to do the whole thing.
Sheesh.
It's a lot, but I know a lot of people don't want to mess it because of electricity, but
yeah,
you wouldn't.
No, not even a little bit.
You'd save your money, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhonda says, as we get older, we think of more things that could go wrong. See, that's weird because I don't spend any time there at all. None.
Yeah.
My solar well pump works. Got to get it run to the house now. Yep. No, Indiana Mike says, glad to help. I know you are, bud, and I know you're happy to do it just as I'm happy to come help you, but still it's amazing to know you can pick up the phone and help comes,
Some smart fellas too.
Yeah, and all kinds of different skill sets and all that great stuff. And it's really, really good. And I'm looking forward to getting it done so I can get back to other things. I got a tree house to build this year. I want to get my shop finished. We got pod 4 to get done. I got fencing to get done. I got a bunch of gates to hang. All the fields need mowed.
Yep.
Right? What are you smiling about? What do you got on your list to do?
My list to do or my list for you to do?
Yeah, let's start with your list for me to do.
Because there's all kinds of stuff that I'm like, hey, there's this and there's this and there's the newest thing. There's a little bit of water coming on in a stairwell that was never ever wet before. And I'm like, hey, the power broke, batteries broke. I know that we need a new system. How much is that going to cost? Oh, there's water coming in the hallway. And he's like, I don't even want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, you don't want to talk about it? And he's like, I don't even want to know about it. You don't want to know about water coming in the hallway where the drywall is? I'll just keep that to myself. He's like, I got a playhouse to build. I'm like, playhouse? A week. You don't want to know about. Oh my God.
I can only manage one catastrophe at a time. I did
know,
not have on my plans to install a whole new solar system.
I'm keeping them to myself.
As soon as that power gets turned on and everything's squared away, bring it on.
Yes.
Give me the next one.
I didn't make the water come in the hallway.
Mm-hmm. Now you sure it isn't condensation?
Pretty sure.
We've never had condensation there before.
I know. Yeah, it's not condensation.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
because my wife is notorious for saying, "Oh my gosh, it's flooded," and I go in there and I'm going there and it's got a little bit of dampness. It's not even wet.
It shouldn't be wet. Houston, we have a problem. There is water where there should not be, and I don't care how it got there. The intrusion is in.
Oh man. It is always a journey of always something.
Good news is it flows downhill. So if you're on the bottom, you'll see it coming.
I was talking to Paradise Stanley tonight, who may or may not be listening tonight, but we were just talking about how it's always something.
It is always something.
And you go and you get so motivated to do something a particular way. I'm like, hey, one of my goals was I'm going to get my work on my shop some because it gets neglected a lot. So I got to spend a few days out there and it's so nice. Turn on a big fan, turn on YouTube, watch podcasts, listen to books, and just work in my wood shop, which is I love to do. Boom. And I got solar issues.
Why does that do that?
I don't know. Boom, all of a sudden I've got issues. And then you drop everything you're doing. So when I left the shop, I've got stacks of plywood on the floor. I was putting things away, building cubicles, et cetera, et cetera. Still sits there.
Yeah.
Because I had to turn my attention, onto something else. Carrie Davis says, laughter is the secret to long and happy marriage. I agree. And my wife's really good to me. She harasses me, but she also knows that I am only capable of doing one thing like that at a time.
Yeah.
Sharpshooter and I had some condensation pouring out of the basement ceiling the other day. So here's a very interesting thing about this statement. So we know by this statement, and just the average person could come to the conclusion that she's exaggerating something.
One or the other.
So either we're exaggerating condensation or pouring.
Well, it shouldn't have been where it was. Either way. The basement ceiling should not have water
Condensating
on it.
The basements tend to be a little damp.
Not your ceiling. Come on.
Sharpshooter said, I've discovered if it isn't something, you're probably dead. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
No, I shared a video on Facebook the other day of this lady who's homesteading, and she's like, I got poop in my hair. Or cow kicked over my milk bucket, filled my boot up with milk, or the chicken peed on me, or whatever it was. And she was just telling her life. She's like, if you can't do this, if you can't have poop in your hair and milk in your shoe, and this is definitely not the life for you. Let's see here. Gregory says, I have a solar well pump for cattle water in the pasture, pump about 15 to 1,800 gallons of water per day, 200 watts solar pounds. Yeah, that's excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Sharpshooter says, okay, in all fairness, it was a bad video. It turns out it was pouring. Okay. So that'd be like what, like a broken water pipe or something?
So she probably said, we got some water in the ceiling. And he probably was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's like that.
Yeah.
And then she probably was like, are you sure? Is it supposed to be like that? And he was probably like, yeah, don't worry about it, until it was probably like, big problem. And then it was like, all right, let's fix it. I bet that's what happened.
Yeah. So Sharpshooter, why was it leaking? Why was water pouring out of your ceiling?
Was it supposed to be there?
Was it just condensating?
Was it just condensating?
Yeah. Nito says, we thought we had another water leak because the pump kept coming on like it did 3 years ago. Nope. Just that I forgot I had left the water hose on. Oh, no.
Hey, so I have a really good thing I had heard. Those little stretchy bracelets that you can put on. Some of them I've seen, they're like, oh, citronella, keep the bugs away. And some of them are just not. You can like hook a key on it. I think there's like ones that have like a key ring on them, but they come in like red or blue or yellow, and they're like little stretchy bracelets. So you can take one of those and you can put it on to the water faucet. And then every time you water, you take the bracelet off and you put it on, and you go about, you turn the water on, but you have the bracelet on. So you go and you do your chores and you go up to the house and you get your coffee and you're like, whoa, I got the bracelet on. I got to go back down to the water. And then because you have the bracelet on, you know that the water's still on. And then if you go down there and you turn the water off, you take the bracelet and you put it back onto the faucet.
Can I ask you something? If you can remember why you're wearing a bracelet, why can't you remember to turn the water off?
Because you just don't.
Oh my goodness.
Look, she forgot to turn it off. Who else has forgot to turn off the water? It's a normal thing.
If you can remember to pick that bracelet up and put it on, you should be able to remember to turn
Obviously, Tag does not do animal chores.
Good night, Terminator.
That's what
so Sharpshooter said really heavy condensation. So what caused it? Yeah.
Really heavy condensation.
What caused the really heavy condensation? Or a pinhole leak. Okay, so what caused the pinhole leak? Pinhole leak in what?
In the ceiling?
Yeah, but it's coming from somewhere, right? Yeah, Pocrates says, sounds like lockout, tag out. Neo says, yep, that bush got water real well. Maybe if you'd taken a bracelet and tied it to the end of your hose, and then when you laid the hose down, remember to take the bracelet off the hose. Remember to put the bracelet on your wrist and then go wherever you are. And then remember what that's supposed to symbolize. Sounds like a much easier way than just remembering the water's on.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness, honey, do we have a spring out by the barn? Oh my goodness.
Water.
Lindsay says we installed a meter that automatically shuts the water off after a certain amount. The water had been left on too many times. But Lindsay, if you had a bracelet that you would tie it into the hose and then take it off and tie it on your wrist.
Not on the end of the hose, on the spigot. But see, it was enough of a problem for them that they had to install an automatic shut off.
But they didn't have a bracelet.
No, but I guess you could go and install an automatic shut off.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think Sharp Scrooge is going to tell us why he has a water leak. I don't think he wants another nickname. What do you think?
You think like he did it himself?
Well, something happened because he's just really avoided the answer. You know.
Really heavy condensation.
Hey, is Cupcake listening?
Or
Cupcake, tell your dad to tell me where the water came from. I'm really curious.
It was probably the pipe.
Well,
that should not have been leaking.
Yeah, it could be a bathtub left on. Could be a sink left on.
Oh no, you think somebody
could be
did that now.
One of the youngins with a pitcher of water pouring it down a vent. Who knows, babe?
They wouldn't do that.
Oh, they would never do that. No. Anyway. All right, you want to go through your farm pictures? What do you got this week, Pumpkin?
These are the babies, and I actually had let them out. This was the 3 nights ago, I think. I locked them up in the nighttime, and then in the daytime now I let them roam with everybody else.
Those are chickens, turkeys, and guineas, right?
Yeah, that was everything.
She just raises them all together.
Well, no, that was like, this was, I think, 2 or 3 batches or mixes. So I think there's like 10, there's only 10 turkeys in there and like 18 chickens or something like that. It's not.
There are baby birds everywhere.
The guineas, because these are the only babies.
Well, you have guineas that have 14 plus 4, right? So that's 18 babies.
13, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I wasn't going to hatch any more guineas this year.
Oh, see, look at this.
I wasn't.
Instead of a bracelet, Gregory says Susie puts her cap on backwards for a reminder.
Ah, look at that. See?
I know what you should do. Take one shoe off.
Yeah.
It's hard to forget that.
Gross. I don't walk around barefoot on the barn floor.
Pete says he said a solution. All right, I'll check it out as soon as we get off the live.
And then the other picture, when I was weed eating the back of the community building, now known as the warehouse.
More turkey eggs.
Turkey eggs. There was a turkey nest, and there was a turkey on it. And now that I have weeded the area, she doesn't want her nest anymore. So it used to be grass up taller than the.
You can incubate them.
I don't have the electricity at the moment.
Yes, you do.
No.
Babe, you have twice the amount of electricity you had before the battery melted down.
Right. When you turn, you're like, I'm going to turn the power off for a little bit. I can't just be like, okay.
I got it.
Like, hey guys, hang in there.
I got it.
Like, I'm done incubating this year.
Yeah.
It's everything's put away.
Real life trad wife says I set timers for everything.
Oh, a timer on the phone. If you have your phone.
And you got a turtle, buddy?
This was the turtle. I was, again, weed eating. This was back there. That grass was so tall. It's amazing look how far down he was. He was like plastered into that mud. I had to kind of like pry him out of his little hole. At first I thought it was like a nest of some kind, maybe like some eggs or something. But that little guy could not stay there because I was weed eating and the grass is no longer there. So it was 5 feet tall.
Yeah, real life trad wife said, how about a smartwatch? Yeah. You can just set the timer on your smartwatch.
I don't wear a smartwatch. I used to. I was too wet. Yeah, this was the memorials that my niece made.
Yeah. Wildflowers, right?
Yep. And she hand wrote all of these, like 30 of them. and then had little sacks of seeds to give out for people who came. So I will plant some seeds in memory of my mom and see what comes up. This is Tag's little frog.
That dude,
This is Tag's little new buddy.
Yeah, we included this because I was sitting, the sun had gone down yesterday and I was tired. I'd worked all day long. So I took my shirt off, took my shoes off, took my socks off, and I'm sitting on the back deck, just sitting there. And I just feel splat right on my back.
He goes, what's on me?
I thought a bird took a big dump on me until I felt it move.
And then it was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be here either.
Yeah.
And he like flew or jumped, I guess, all the way to the grill and splatted right on the grill.
Yeah.
That's where he's at right now.
Dana says, no. They track you with smart devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. And see, they do. When it's checking your temperature and your heart rate and I don't know. I could feel on my wrist, like, maybe it's just me. I could feel like the electricity on my wrist. There's times with when we first got the solar panels or the solar system, I could sense the electricity in the air. I could feel it in the air. And so the smartwatch, it was uncomfortable on me. And then I would sweat underneath it, and then it was wet underneath it. And then it's like it's like sending a light onto you the whole time.
Gregory says turtles burrow a hole into the ground for winter hibernation.
Well, it is not winter.
No. What you got going on?
Yeah, so we've got all kinds of peppers coming up. These ones are the banana peppers, and that's basil. Look at that stink. I think that's a stink bug. That's some kind of bug. I think that's what's killing the tomatoes. This kind of bug, because there's hornworm damage on some of them, and then some of the plants are just not looking the greatest. And it's probably because they're dry. Some more peppers. What is that?
It's a green pepper, and I have no idea.
Oh, that's
you sent me the picture. I just put it in the slideshow.
Cilantro.
All dried up?
Yes, those are the seeds. The coriander seeds.
Your bell peppers look great. Did you harvest those today?
No, I didn't have time.
What'd you do all day?
I think I was eating. No, I was running all over the place. I had to get your mom's some groceries. I had to get us some groceries. I had to take pictures. The cosmos, look how beautiful those different colors. And that is the sweet potato mound. So that entire mound is sweet potato vines. And you can see they're like beyond the mound.
Yeah,
even.
They're doing really well.
Those part of them are doing very, very well.
Yeah.
That's
the same mound, right?
Yeah. See, it's coming even off of the mound, the greenery is.
Yeah. That's Bee's food forest from one angle, right?
Yeah.
From one side of it. There's lots of good stuff going on. Oh, yeah.
The black elderberry is.
You got a bunch to harvest, don't you?
A bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get that
There's
done.
naked lilies, which I wish those weren't coming up right there, but it's going to be hard to get those bulbs out of there until the mint is gone.
Yeah. So elderberry harvest is here, huh?
Yes. I need to dehydrate them or freeze them for later use for Lisa.
Yeah. Grumpy Eggs says, Tag, did you get a chance to read the Cora response the county sent today? I did not open any of the attachments. I did read it, but there's a couple things I find super fascinating about it. Specifically that you and I were carbon copied on the same email, which.
Why would they do that?
Super tacky. One less email to send.
How would they know who it is? Did they know you guys were friends, or?
I assume they know that, but there was two. We both put in Cora requests for the same type of information, and we got a form letter, basically, kind of not really a form letter, saying, hey, we've agreed to release this amount of data. I haven't looked into it yet. So, yeah, Grumpy Acre says lazy. Could not agree more.
And they didn't even blind copy you?
No, they carbon copied.
Oh, that is awful.
Yeah.
So they're giving out email addresses.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this here in just a little bit. I've got some of it in the slide deck tonight. Look at that pear.
Well, there's two in there. There's one right up above it somewhere.
Yeah.
Right there.
I got our first time producing pear tree.
Yeah.
And the other picture.
Yeah, there's dill and onion and
blueberry,
basil and strawberries and blueberries. Yeah, and they all seem to be okay.
Yeah. That's good, good, good.
That dill is massive. It's starting to produce seed.
Yeah, this is again inside the food forest. It's in a big fence because to keep the deer out and to keep all of those kind of things. The dogs, mainly the dogs.
Keep the guinea in.
Yeah, keep the guineas in. I'm going to tell you, you know, I have a friend named Matt who lives pretty close to us, and he's a wealth of knowledge. But he was talking about how guineas, when they naturally hatch, you know, they have a survival rate of like 3%. Like there's just not a lot of the babies survive. And
well, that's because they run them through all that tall stuff. Right. They literally
lose them,
hatch, and then they're off.
Yeah,
those babies are so tiny when they're off walking.
Yeah. And but our guineas this year decided to take over the food forest and hatch them in there. And so for a long time, they had to grow up a little bit before they could leave too far. And the mamas kept good control of them in there. And so she had a clutch of 18 that you have now 14, right?
13.
You have 13 now that started 18. Is that right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's been really, really good. Hermatopia says, wow, your elderberry looks awesome. My flowers drop too soon and don't produce as much as yours. I don't know what is going on. Yeah, ours are prolific and have been every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every year. But anyway, we'll keep trucking here. Yeah, those are all
elderberry.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, you got a lot to do.
You can't see it because the sun is on the other side.
So you guys know,
are all full.
There is a professional elderberry harvester who's on the live a lot named Silver Lining. So we need a Silver Lining to come and harvest all of them?
Harvest.
She totally would too. We got there, baby.
Those are marigolds. That's a nice big bush too. And then next to it is like lemon balm. Lemon balm, I think. It's very lemony. These are the birdhouse gourds. And oh man, I don't know if I sent you the picture, but there is one vine on this that had, I don't know if it's a pumpkin. It looks like a pumpkin. It is so covered in squash beetles. I've never seen anything like that. I took a picture of it to send it to you, but I don't know if I did.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Did you get rid of them?
No, because I literally ran down there, took a picture, and came right back up. I had nothing to get rid of them with.
So what are you going to do? Please help me understand. Why would you even grow birdhouse gourds?
You make birdhouses with them.
No, I don't make any birdhouses.
All you have to do is just use the drill bit to just drill the hole.
And you want to make a bunch of birdhouses?
Sure. How do you think you get birds that eat the mosquitoes and such?
Oh, you grow birdhouse gourds.
You have to grow birdhouse gourds.
Oh,
you have to give them a place to live if you want them to come and be on your property.
Got it. So when these dry out, you're gonna
house. You have birdhouse gourds. You have different ways for them to live.
I understand that you want to collect.
If you build them, then they will come.
Okay.
More birds.
Okay, so that's why you're growing them.
Yeah. Actually, those were given to us by the res. Because we've tried to grow them.
Look, her tomato plants have almost grown over the arch.
That is crazy how.
Yeah, look how big they are. Those tomato plants are probably 8 feet tall.
That arch I can walk down. It's not as small as it looks.
Well, I can tell you the exact. And Permatopia Farm says, how wide is that trellis for the birdhouse gourds? It's 8 feet wide, and I bend a 16-foot panel. So I measure 8 feet. I drive T-posts. Here, let me go back and I'll show you here.
Well, Jen says you can lift them up off the ground, so you can actually lift them.
Go back. So see my T-posts, Mandy? So I drive those T-posts, and I drive them every 4 feet. 8 feet apart, and then I just bend a 16-footer. So basically, I can't walk down here without hitting my head, but I barely have to bend. I'm 6'2". So your arch height's probably about 6 feet because I got to just barely bend over to walk down them.
I don't have to bend over at all.
So 8 feet across, T-post, 16-foot panel. That's what you do.
Jen says, though, you can raise the panel up a foot so that there's
Yes.
a foot of emptiness on the bottom, which then gives you a foot higher. But you had said it also makes it less sturdy if it's not touched down on the ground.
Real life Tradwife says you grow birdhouse gourds because someone gives you a ton of birdhouse gourds plants.
That's right.
And Grumpy wants to know, why are you not growing a Martin house?
Right. We have a Martin house. We don't even have it put up yet.
No.
Grow a Martin house.
Aren't those tomatoes beautiful, though? Look at that. Yeah. Dina says a lot of greenery. I think what she's really saying, I don't see many tomatoes. Actually, if you look underneath them, there's lots of tomatoes in there. The red ones are the ones that she pulls off and just throws to the ground.
Well, yeah,
They
a lot
clearly
of
need
those I
harvesting.
just throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
Through.
Yeah. And something very exciting inside the greenhouse bee. What do you finally have
That
going?
is the turmeric. Turmeric.
That took forever to come up.
That's some of it. Some of it is growing.
Yeah, Gregory says Susie's used to paint birdhouse gourds for her birds and gave them as gifts. Well, we will have an overabundance if she wants to get back in the business.
Maybe. I'm hoping that they actually get to full size, because right now, like I said, that vine that's on that has the squash beetles on it. So I need to. Did you take mine? Took mine. That's mine.
I might be a little weird on this, but I think you should only be growing things you're going to eat. And if it don't serve a purpose, don't waste the soil, the energy, the nutrients, the minerals. Don't waste any of it. Grumpy says, "Where did you get the turmeric root?" I bought bee. How much did I buy you?
I don't know. I didn't buy it.
3 pounds, 6 pounds,
It
something
came
of
in the
turmeric
mail.
roots. We've got a bunch of it, and I like buying bee interesting things. But if you guys want some turmeric root, I can absolutely get you some. So,
what, are you going to dig this up?
he said, "No, I thought it looked great."
They're only tiny still.
Yeah.
You can't dig them up yet.
Yeah, not yet, but we can manage some turmeric, right?
I'm hoping I get something.
Yeah.
You harvest the root and you use the root. So.
All right, I'll leave you the material garden. Anything else in
I'm
your garden?
hoping that we get something out of that.
Mm-hmm. Something?
Yeah. Somebody said that you could overwinter it, but I don't know. Hoping we get something.
Yeah, well, I think you got to mulch over the top of the roots, and as it goes through the winter, leave them in your greenhouse will be good for them. And then maybe next year they'll pop back, with a vengeance.
I don't know. So it's producing the greenery on top. I don't know if you can use that greenery for anything. I know that you use the root.
Grumpy said we went to Natural Grocers and none of it took. It worked for hacks.
Oh, it's been planted since
spring,
April.
Yeah, we put them in the ground in April, and they just now started flowering.
Mm-hmm. Not even flowering.
I'm not flowering, greening, just leafing. So Grumpy, I don't know how long you had it in the ground. Maybe you just needed to leave it in there a little bit longer, but it took forever for us. I mean, like I said, it went in April, and it just now has green.
Yeah.
And it's been in there a long time. When I bought it for her, again, I like to buy her oddball stuff. I always have stuff that she's never grown before. And so one day in the mail shows up 3 pounds of turmeric root or whatever. And so we've been at it all year, and it's just now starting to green.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the famous Life with Mike and Jen. Jen says you need houses for creatures that eat the pests that eat your food.
Birdhouse gourds.
Well, here's the thing. I'm 100% supportive, Jen, of birdhouse gourds to be made into birdhouses, to be hung up so they can eat them. I am not okay with growing birdhouse gourds so that they end up in a box and get stacked on a shelf. And 3 years later, I have birdhouse gourds falling apart.
That's happened.
So you're saying I'm worried about something that hasn't happened, like condensation?
I'm just saying that That did happen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Dana says, I have a fall garden now, more green beans and squash and lettuce and tomatoes. Okra too. Love that.
Mm.
We had it in our grow lights in the house. Yeah, B put hers in the greenhouse. And like I said, it just took all this time to pop up. Did you get any greenery or anything?
Outside.
Let's see here. You have to look at it when you buy it and look for fresh growth. Mm.
On the turmeric,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
ours didn't have it. When it came, it looked pretty. It wasn't dry, but it wasn't. There was no growth on it. It just looked like a tuber. I guess it looked brown, dirty.
Brager says, do you think turmeric root would grow in Nebraska? Well, it absolutely will in the spring, summer, and fall. But
You would have to pull it
here in zone
6A,
we have to cover it in the wintertime. So we'll have to just we'll take a piece of cardboard, lay it over the top, so whatever we can do to just isolate it to get it out of the weather.
We'll ask Jen.
Jen,
she knows how to overwinter all
Yeah.
the stuff.
Speaking of Jen, she says, yep, project time for her and Mike in the winter in the community building. That's a great idea. I love you. Agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What else we got?
I'm glad they're coming.
I'm glad they're coming too. Couple reminders to you guys. I'm speaking in the Self-Reliance Festival. I'm going to be talking about how the system is lying to us. And that is on October 4th and 5th. Also, Callie from our community will be down there.
Oh,
Joe.
talking?
Yep, Joe from American Roots is going to travel with me, which is going to be super cool.
That's nice.
You and Jess can hang out and do some
That'll be
harvesting.
It'll be cold. When
Cool.
is this?
October 4th and 5th.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, be absolutely great weather. So that will be good, right? And I'm looking forward to meeting Brooke Whipple. I've never met her before. I met Dr. Ken Berry before, but that ought to be fun. And then I'm also going to be speaking November 15th and 16th at Crunchy Mama Farms outside of Dallas, Texas. And she's asked me to talk about what got me where I'm at and the whole journey to get here and why community matters. And so I'll be talking about there in outside of Dallas that day. Yeah. So let's see here. Hey, Design 2C, welcome in. Said gourds can cross with squash and pumpkins and actually make them a little toxic. As to which gourd, I am uncertain. This year was the first time I'd heard of this.
Huh.
Interesting. Real Life Tradwife says, yeah, it has like little nubs that you can look at to see if it is still trying to grow, sort of like a ginger root. Yeah, turmeric can't freeze. It will turn to mush. Best to pull them, let them cure, then replant next spring.
So she's saying pull them from the ground.
Oh, Grumpy Acre says Angela's cooking at SRF. Okay, so Grumpy and Angela will be there too. I did not know that, but excellent. So there'll be a large contingent of this community here in Camden, Tennessee on October 4th and 5th.
But not all of us.
Not all of us. No, you don't ever travel with me. You just got better things to do, don't you, baby?
Got to take care of stuff.
Yep.
Somebody's got to do it.
All right. We want to, I think, let me see here what we got. Oh, one other thing I want to remind everybody of, don't forget that my Crooked Little Homestead has been forced to tear their cabin all the way down and rebuild it.
That is so crazy.
There was a GoFundMe page set up. This was the actual slide from last week. I think they've raised almost $3,000 so far when I looked at it last. And so thank you to all you guys who, participated and donated. I can't thank you enough. B and I have donated. And so anyway, I just want to remind you guys that that's out there. The link's at the bottom. It's, the GoFundMe.com, My Crooked Little Homestead Rebuild is the name of the GoFundMe. And I don't know if one of the mods in there can grab a hold of that link and post it in case someone else would like to help, Lucy, Terminator, go and figure out how to rebuild and go through all of that stuff. It's absolutely crazy what the government does to us and how we let it slip a little bit and 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 a little bit makes a lot.
Yeah.
And then you wake up one day and you say, where's my freedom?
Wait a minute.
What happened?
Why do I have to give you
That's
that
right.
information?
That's right. Well, what happened was it was the death of 1,000 cuts. Right? That's what happened. And it was just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And you just said, well, it doesn't affect me. Or, hey, I can probably tolerate this, even though I don't really like it. And we just stay quiet and we keep behind the scenes. And every single day, there's less and less people who can stand up and do anything about it. And the longer we wait, the harder it's going to be to stand up and do something about it. And unfortunately, where Terminator is now, that's been pushed a long, long way. And the Canadians are going to have quite the fight on their hands. I'm not talking about violence before anybody freaks out. They're going to have quite the fight on their hand in order to get that ship turned around. In America, we're not that far gone, in my opinion, although we're rapidly approaching it. But we have to do more, as a citizen. And this is getting involved at your school board. This is getting involved in your county commission. This is getting involved even just with meeting people and like-minded people around you, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's at the Kiwanis Club or the Foreign Legion or whatever, the American Legion, Foreign Legion,
yeah,
the American Legion, the VFW, 4-H, whatever it is, or even if it's the 8 guys who are having coffee at Burger King at 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is, I think the more, you get involved in that, the easier it will be to actually non-violently swing. Hey, Northern Girl Hobbies, welcome. Good to see you. Here you go. Here's the link. It's in the chat. I would really encourage you guys to go reach out. Guys, at the end of the day, together is all we got. And it is no different than, Trench and Sharpshooter coming over to, help me put in a solar or helping someone rebuild a cabin, and I would really encourage you to do what you can do. Because again, it's pretty hard, right? This life's not easy. No. And, being able to, all of a sudden the state comes and says, well, just tear down your house and rebuild it. What?
Right.
Yeah. Good. Oh, you got, 2 weeks to get out. Yeah. And Grumpy for the win says it's our own fault. It is our own fault. And we've allowed it to get here. Again, we got to get standing up, right? Mimi and Papa on the road with the grandbabies, practicing my skills on here. Oh, love that. Yeah. Well, hello, grandbabies. And of course, hello, Papa. Pop Mario. Yep. Pop Mario. There's a song there, like a rap. I bet you Mario and MC Sausage could sing a rap entitled Pop Mario. I like that. I like that a lot. Speaking of getting in the fight, right? All right. Well, you guys know that I told you that my county passed Resolution 2516, which allowed the county to enter your property against your will using an administrative warrant if one of the employees or a tip allowed them to be to make you a suspect of not paying your fair share in taxes or not getting a building permit or not having the right septic or whatever it was. And we fought them hard. I called everybody I knew. We got attorneys involved. More importantly, we got the whole community involved. And I want to talk about that a lot. But we filed COMA and CORA requests. We filed CORA and COMA complaints to the Attorney General's office. We did all of this stuff, went into a lot of meetings, got into some yelling matches with the commissioners over it. And pretty quick, one of the commissioners goes, I don't really think this is really worth it. We don't have a problem now. Maybe this isn't a good idea. Then the other commissioner's like, no, we need to keep going forward. Then another week goes by, a little more pressure gets applied, and the county commission has now rescinded Resolution 2516.
Nice.
And they are not going to go down that road. They are not going to do it. And again, this might have been considered a little thing, right? Well, they're just if you get a permit, you don't have anything to worry about, right? If you whatever,
follow our regulations.
Yeah, then you got nothing to worry about. Why do you not want them on your land? Because I have private property, right? The Fourth Amendment guarantees me rights to that. It says that it can't be an illegal search and seizure. They have to have a reason and supported by a warrant, right? And so in my opinion, they were violating it. Because let's look at this from an extreme perspective. Let's say there was a police officer who didn't like you, and they put in an anonymous tip that you had built a building on your property without a permit. That anonymous tip would have been probable cause. So whether you did or whether you didn't.
So who would come on your property?
It would allow any
tax assessor.
No, the way the resolution read was a county employee or contractor. So someone they hired. So basically it meant with an anonymous tip, they could come on your property anytime they wanted, and there was nothing you could do about it. And in my opinion, that absolutely violates our Fourth Amendment rights and potentially our Fifth Amendment rights, because you can't be imprisoned, let's say, right, for a non-infamous crime. So basically, you can't be put in prison for debt is basically what it's saying. And so I think it possibly could have violated both of those. So we fought them good and hard. But here's the cool news, guys: we won. They totally backed down. If you look at that picture in the top right corner, that's me sitting in a budget meeting. And I just wanted to show you across the table is Commissioner Gerhardt. And then just to her left is Commissioner Pruitt, which is the guy that I typically bark with the most.
As I say, who usually
But
yells at you.
I really like this picture. This was put in the paper because I'm surrounded by 5 county officials and me.
Yeah.
I like that. They were, the Public Works Director was there, the Jackson County Clerk was there, and the commissioners were all there. So I was trying to have a conversation. This was prior to them rescinding the resolution, trying to tell them that an anonymous tip is not probable cause. So, and that's where it came in. I actually even went, and this same day this picture was taken, I went and asked our county sheriff. I said, "Hey, Sheriff Morris," I said, "Hey, what is probable cause? How do you define probable cause?" And he said, "Beyond a reasonable doubt." Right? And not beyond reasonable doubt. He said, beyond reasonable suspicion or something like that. And
say reasonable doubt.
Yeah, not reasonable doubt, beyond reasonable suspicion. And so just in his own words, in my opinion, shut down this whole thing as far as what that is. So anyway, I'm super happy about it. There's so many good things that came out of this. So real quick, let's talk about, let me get rid of the screen here. Let's talk real quick about some of the things we gained in this whole process. So first thing is they know we're going to fight. They know that if they do something that violates our rights, that we're going to fight them. And this is a super big victory. You don't think the next resolution they decide to come out with, they're going to be asking, does this violate any constitutional right in any way?
Yeah. Well, you never know.
They may still do it anyway, but I promise you that we put so much heat on them. We hit them from every social media platform and multiples, and each one, different people. People were pissed. We got their phone numbers out. We got their information out. We told everybody to call everybody. So they got bombarded right here. They were called by attorneys. I don't know if the Attorney General ever called them, although he will at some point, I would imagine. Whether he has yet or not yet, I do not know. But I think that they know that we'll fight. And I think just that alone is a big step in the right, kind of direction. Grumpy Acres says, Grumpy Acres says that they literally took to trust us. We wouldn't abuse the law. Right. Then why is it in there? Yeah, Squadra says, you give us all inspiration to push back when necessary. 100%. Yeah, public heat avoids condensation. Yeah. So anyway, that's a really, really big thing that I think that it did. The other thing is that as soon as they rescinded it on all of those social media sites and all of that, I made sure to put a message out thanking the commissioners for doing the right thing.
And you got some heat from other
Of course I did.
Who was like,
of course I did.
Why are you telling them thank you?
Yeah. Because if all we do is bitch, we become white noise. And at the end of the day, we all live here. And so if it's, do you guys remember the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon, when he was, what was the girl's name?
Penny.
So Sheldon was trying to teach Penny. When she did something good, he gave her a piece of chocolate. And when she did something bad, he slapped her hand. You remember this episode?
I do.
It's the same thing. Well, I'm not condoning, I'm not endorsing the person. I'm endorsing the behavior. And what I'm saying is this is right, because your job, the county commissioner's job, is to ensure that the individual freedoms are protected. Okay, the government should be no more than that. We don't need anything more than that. And so they're now aware that we're going to fight. And I think it is absolutely a beautiful, wonderful thing. Also, we managed to get level up as far as training goes. I know a whole lot more about COMA and CORA today. COMA is Kansas Open Meetings Act. CORA is Kansas Open Records Act. What they can do, what they can't do. I also know more about the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, and the Sixth Amendment because I spent a lot of time in them. Sixth Amendment says you have the right to address your public officials. And there was a couple times in a meeting, they wouldn't let me talk because it wasn't on the agenda. And so I dove into some of those things. So I became more educated. And again, so now between Coma, the Fourth, the Fifth, and the Sixth Amendment, I got to level up. The community, because they got involved in filing Coma requests, complaints, got involved in the meeting. Now they leveled up a little bit too. Yeah. So I think that was, absolutely exceptional as well. Hey, Big B. Big B says, now that's the power of community. Yep. Some other good things that I think came out of it is I've met a lot of new friends and built a lot of new alliances all over this county. I gained like 30 Facebook friends just in my county because as I got more and more involved in this, people would send me messages. Thank you for sticking up for me. And I have to tell you guys that immediately in my heart, I'm like, well, why weren't you there? You want to thank me for standing up, but why weren't you there? Because we got to stand up together. But I did get to build my network in the county a whole lot better, which is good, right? And I hope what they've seen is that I was fair the whole way. I was firm but fair. You're not going to violate my rights, but if you do the right thing, here, Penny, here's a piece of chocolate, right? And so I think that was really good from a community perspective too, because what I would consider our MAG, the way I define a MAG, is the people around you who may be of assistance to you in the time of an emergency. So all of these friends and people that I've met are, again, a potential alliance and a network, and I'll help them too. They call me and say, hey, will you come? We're going to build a barn. We'll scramble and we'll find a way to make that happen. And, those kind of things. So I really think that was a big deal, that kind of came out of it too. I also think one other thing that was really interesting is it was another wonderful topic to unite our community in a lot of ways, right? It was become a hot topic. We talked about it a lot. Some of the other, what I would consider leaders in the community, I spent some time with trying to plot and plan, how's this going to work? How do we, make it the most effective? And there was different opinions, guys. I'm going to tell you, it's not all, everybody just agrees when we go down this path. There's, people in the corner with tar and feathers, and they want them to hang them, and then there's, totally the opposite side of that too, and so I thought it was a really good exercise, from a community perspective. I think it was great that we got to build our network a little bit better. And I also think it's great that they now know, right, without a question of the doubt,
people are watching.
We're watching. And it ain't just me watching. I'm not the only one on there watching.
No.
Right. We have every single county commissioners meeting in our county now is filmed. It's recorded. And it's put out on a YouTube channel called Jackson County Citizen Broadcasters. Every single one. That didn't happen 2 years ago. And in fact, I don't know if you guys know this, if I ever talked about this before, but when we started filming, they tried to throw us out and said we couldn't film.
Yeah. Or then they turned out different rules, right?
Right. So when they say you can't film in there, what constitutional amendment they're violating?
No.
The first.
Oh.
Most people think the First Amendment says you have the freedom of speech.
Yeah. Which
is true. You have the freedom of speech. But there's a whole big part in there about you also have the freedom of press. Did you guys know that you were born with press credentials? You have the right to film in any public space, whether it's from a sidewalk, whether it's inside of a county commissioners meeting. You can't film in courtrooms. You can't go behind restricted doors. You can't do any of that kind of stuff. But beyond that, you have the right to film. They couldn't,
including people who are in public spaces.
Yeah, they say the eyes can't trespass. So your eyes cannot commit trespass.
So if you can see it in
public, can see it, you can film it.
What about them people who fly over your house?
What do you mean?
You can see it. It's not public, right?
Well, so you have to define what private property is. Where does my private property stop? Because on private property, you can't. Let me give you an example. You cannot walk into Walmart and just film. If they ask you to leave, you have to leave. If they ask you to stop, you have to stop. Inside Walmart. Correct, because it's private. But when you're funded by taxpayer dollars, babe, which would be your county commissioners, your sheriff's department, schools, a lot of you have the right to film.
On the street.
You have the right to film because the Constitution guaranteed you, right, those press credentials. And if we don't exercise the rights of freedom of speech, freedom of press, no illegal search and seizure. I can talk to my, elected officials. I can't be, imprisoned, lose life, liberty, those things for a debt. All of the things that we talked about tonight, if we practice them, they'll stick around. If we sit in the background and go, oh, it's just a little bit, it's okay.
Yeah.
Then you wake up and you're Lucy born in Canada, and now you're facing all of it. and you got to swing against all of it with one big swing. Grumpy Acres says, blah, blah, blah is what Pruitt said about people posting on social media. Actually, the exact quote was blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I sense pressure to run for office coming again. Yeah, well, if you can go change something, right? I mean, at the end of the day, those commissioners should be spending every single day of their whole existence saying, how do we ensure the rights of the people in this county? How do we do it? You know, that's our job. And I wish. Let's see here. Yep, that's right. Parker said freedom of press. Same for law enforcement, plain sight. That's right. If you have a bag of weed and it's sitting on the passenger seat and a cop walks by and looks at it, the eyes can't trespass, you're busted. Right? That's the way it works. Well, it works the same way the other way, guys. They don't have any more rights than you do. Did you know that? No more. But we have to be willing to stand up. Can't we tar and feather just one of them, please? Yeah, you know what? I almost, earlier we were going through all of this, thought of wearing a tar and feather t-shirt to one of those meetings. But I didn't. For school this year, we're going to do a whole class on the Constitution with the whole family. I love this. Love this, love this, love this. And hey, if I can help in any way, you let me know. The government considers the airspace theirs. They can record your house from the window with a drone. Got to have curtains. Yes. So this brings up a super hot topic and something that's been debated. It's in court. It's all over, is drone warfare, right? And also planes. And at what point does your privacy, because you get to have a reasonable expectation of privacy. That's the way it reads.
Right.
Right. And so where is that line? And with technology, with them being able to zoom in and those kinds of things, because I think the case, Matt, my neighbor made this case many times. He's always said, if a drone flies over my house, I hope that my family, my kids strip down and now I can go after them for filming my family that way. Because, right, you should have some expectation of privacy.
I was just say, if I'm outside with my top off, I don't want the whoever to fly by and take pictures.
Right.
And then you don't even know who it is.
Yeah. You don't.
And if you're at your house,
or where does the information go afterwards? And, you know, people live in the country like us because we want to live a particular life. If B wants to walk around in the garden shirtless, she should be able to. That's why you live out in the middle of nowhere, right? So not just to be shirtless. My point is you should be free to do what you want and not feel like, you know, Big Brother's watching or whatever it is. I mean, if I wanted that, I'd go move to the city, where I'm going to tell you guys, it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know how much easier electricity would be if I just had to turn a switch on?
Or call somebody.
Or turn water faucet on, and man, water just magically comes. There must be a bunch of, you know, elves in there grinding away.
Yeah.
You know, this life ain't how it is. You got to, you know, we have to do it all for ourselves, which you know, definitely makes it hard. Because I would venture that the government has less freedoms than a private citizen. Well, takes more freedoms from private citizens. Yeah. If I disrobed, the camera would break. Cheaper for them not to look. Yeah. Well, babe, it's 1 hour and 58 minutes. We've had, we didn't get to any new business, but that's okay because that was a pretty busy day today. But you want to get us out of here tonight? What do you want to talk about?
Well, as you were sitting here talking about all of what has been going on, I was just in my mind thinking like, yeah, we've had a lot of help from a lot of people. And it was wonderful to have them in our corner. I would like to say thank you for all of your help. Solar folks and beyond. I mean, you know, we've got, you know, Lou has our cows and Jess helps me garden and Amber's making our bread and the neighbor's giving us milk. And, you know, we've got all kinds of
maybe if you
blessings because of.
Do you think if you spent less time worrying about condensation, you'd have more time for the other things?
I don't know. I mean, probably because I think that if I moved my brain from condensation, it would move to another potential, you know.
Real life Crad wife says bees topless gardening should be a protected activity. I got boys out here peeing on every tree. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you don't want them on somebody's camera.
Yeah.
You know, if your kid's outside and it's allowed to pee on a tree, boy or girl, whatever, why is it okay that they are allowed to come and look for a skidoo in your backyard?
Yeah, guys, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you something. I could walk into the county and I could bitch and complain by myself and they would tell me to piss off. I could go and install my solar system and it would take me a month, right? We could go and pay to have our cows bred and pay to have them housed somewhere for them to eat, you know, hay or whatever it is. We could hire help in the garden, or B could just grow a smaller garden. But at the end of the day, none of these things, living our life the way we want to live it, are possible without community. And we talk about it all the time in here. You guys got to go find a way to have it. And it just takes time. It takes building that. And I want to make sure you guys understand something. Community doesn't mean we all live together. I live on my own property, do my own thing, right? But at the end of the day, knowing that if there's a fire, knowing who's coming, right? If there's an issue, you know, around here, you call the cops. It might be 30 minutes before they get to you. Maybe you know, they're the only way to defend against those kinds of things is with community. The gardens, you cannot grow a big enough garden to supply for yourself. It's just, or certainly not a family, maybe a one person, but you're not doing it. I mean, it's really, really hard to do that year round, right? It just takes an absolute community effort. And just as B mentioned, you know, we have someone who we get our milk from, and we have someone who bakes bread, and we have this great exchange system going. Yeah. And it helps them, you know, because for them, they're spending their time on bread, but guess what? That means they're not spending their time raising something else or doing something else. And so community is the only way we're going to make it through all of this. Whenever that day comes, when they switch on the CBDCs, when they switch on the world government, whatever's coming, when the next Great Depression comes, I promise you, you will withstand longer if you take this advice and you go build community. We'll see you guys in a week. Take out.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.